Pradyumna sir, am I audible?
Yeah, good afternoon. Or good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. So we are ready to start. Shall
Okay.
we start?
Yeah. I am ready. Actually, maybe I thought more people are, maybe they are sitting together also. I'm not sure.
Yes. There are around 10 to 15 people sitting here together in the hall.
Okay. Fine. No problem. We are ready to start. I'll just share the screen.
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to give a brief about maybe your office would have given the brief, but still, let me give a brief about the course which we are doing it now. So this is basically to improve our working either in audit or it may be in accounting, whichever line you are working. Because it is an audit firm, you might be doing audit also, you might be undertaking some accounting works also. So with that aspect in mind, this particular content is being considered for the course. Okay, so basically I have total 20 years of experience coming to myself, and 18 years I have been working in the industry, and last 2 years I am into taking classes and in practice. Okay. See, whatever you see on the screen will be shared to you, so you need not write anything. And if what is not on the screen, if you feel it is better to note it, you may note it. Otherwise, everything will be shared. There is no problem. And more than theoretical knowledge, we will be focusing on practical knowledge, because it is very much required while we are actually working on the site. I mean, working on real scenarios. Okay. And I really appreciate VNV team for empowering the staff in learning. So this is really great opportunity. People, whoever is participating here, they are spending money and also many man hours. Okay, that you have to understand, and you have to take maximum advantage of this. And further, whenever you have doubts, you see our sessions are just half an hour sessions. So rather having questions in between, you may note it. If HR can form a group, you can send it in the WhatsApp group once it is created, or you can put it to the at the end of the session, so that if it is simple, I will explain immediately, or we can take it up in the next class. I will note it down. There is no problem. Okay. So now here I have selected the few topics. Broadly, these topics are broadly. So we will see how depth we can, depending upon the time, we can learn. That is accounting entries for closure of books of accounts and preparation of financial statements. So preparation and analysis, it covers both. Okay, and a few important accounting standards, and GST relating accounting, how we have to do accounting. Okay, if you are well versed and all, if you say this topic need not go that much depth, then we can accordingly change the time allocated for that particular topics. Okay, and important aspect, another important aspect is this internal controls and review of purchase orders, sales orders, budgeting and revenue cost bookings. Okay, so with this small introduction, I will start the class. Hope you are able to see the slide. Yeah. See, now first topic which I have taken is accounting entries for closing books of accounts. See, entries, because you are you have completed 2 years of articles, or you are in finalization stage of accounts. So I thought it is very important to understand how we have to be ready for completing the financials. See, if you are working as an accountant, so you have to see whether all this, whatever I have listed here, whether all these entries have been completed. Okay. If you are working, if you are doing as an audit, I mean, if you are going for an audit of an organization or an entity, then you should, it will become like a checklist for you to ask the other person that whether these aspects have been completed or pending. Okay. See, unless
I think only the PDF is seen on the screen. The whole window was not shared.
Oh, okay. 1 minute. Now
it's visible.
Yeah, see, these are the list of entries which I have broadly noted it. I can't say this is the exhaustive list, because depending upon the type of business and depending upon the nature of, I mean, their accounting policies, so there may be new and different entries also. So these are broadly which are very common, which we have to complete to make the financials ready for audit. See, usually maybe in your firm, I do not know at what state you take up the audit. Otherwise, it is the responsibility of the entity to provide us complete set of financials for our audit. So as an auditor, if I see, all these entries should have been completed before it comes to me for audit. Similarly, if I am an accountant, it is my responsibility to ensure that these entries are completed and then financials are prepared. Otherwise, the financials whichever are prepared is not complete. Okay. Now, first thing which I take up is closing stock. See, closing stock, how valuation, how it can be, how it has to be done, all that we will learn in accounting standard, but we have to see whether the entry for closing stock is passed or not. So many people may ask whether there may be any entry for closing stock. Yes, see, usually we call it as adjustment entry, but without entry, no ledgers will get updated. This is very basic. Whether you call it as adjustment or whether you call it as entry, entry has to come into books so that the ledgers are updated. Okay. So definitely there is a closing stock entry which has to be done. Now coming to closing stock, if you see in the present accounting system, every entity is using some software. Either you take it as Tally, ERP, SAP, okay, at whatever capability they have, they are using the accounting software. So it is, whenever we are discussing any topic, please keep this in mind, that how this is getting affected through that respective accounting software. See, you have been already working for 2 years or more than 2 years. Okay. So wherever you have seen, you would not have seen any manual maintenance of books of accounts, right? So definitely everyone is using some kind of software. So whatever I am discussing in the background, you should keep thinking about your present assignment wherever you are working, how this is getting booked or how this is getting impacted ledgers in that particular organization. Then you will learn better way just than whatever I am teaching. Then you will get doubts also that sir, here it is happening like this, but you are saying in different way. So how it is correlating? So that way you can put me questions also that in what way in that particular organization they are treating this particular entries. Okay. If I'm going speed or if you feel, please raise your hand. Coming to closing stock, there are two aspects in this. One is verification and valuation. Okay, see, sometimes statutory auditors may not go for stock verification. There may be stock auditor separately as a whole, or it may be internal team who is certifying and giving the stock closing stock verification report. Okay, it is depending upon the size of the entity and all. It is important to understand their procedure and process when they are verifying the stock, whether they are doing it monthly basis or annual basis, and what are the processes they are following for stock verification, and if there are any external stock auditors, then whether the report is received and whether the closing stock is accounted in the books. So if I'm an accountant, then I should see that the closing stock is accounted as per the final report given by the respective team, stores department or management. Okay, or if external auditors are there, then their report I have to base and I have to do the accounting. See, accountant is very important person that everyone has to. Still, though even I have been working for 20 years, if somebody calls me accountant, I still feel happy. That I don't feel that somebody is degrading me, because why I tell you, the ultimate financials comes from whatever accounting entries have been passed in the books. If the accountant does not make entries properly as per the set processes of the organization, then my numbers in the trial balance will be wrong, and whatever financials I prepare will give a wrong view of the financial position of the entity. So accountant, we should always teach accountant, we should not degrade him. Accountant is the important person if people at higher level has to deliver their financials in a proper way. Okay, so accountant has to be more vigilant than anybody else. Okay, so whenever he gets any vouchers or anything, then it is very important that he is going to check all those required checks whether the proper system is followed or not. Same way, if you see stock in transit, there may be some purchases which are dispatched on the last days of closing of year, say 28, 29, and they are in transit and they are still not yet reached the destination. So what will happen if the material has not reached in the stores? So there is no entry in the books. Now you may ask me how entry comes in the books if it is reached in the stores. So again, I repeat my statement of accounting softwares. Okay, so it is very important whenever you you are joining as an accountant or you are doing an accounting entry, you have to understand the entire processes of that particular organization. Then you will be able to do your job more diligently. Why I will tell you. Suppose if any material has come to the stores, what will store person does? He will do goods receipt, GR. Okay, inward receipt or goods receipt, whatever they call it. Okay, so once he takes the goods into the stores, then the entry will be stock account debit to GR account or some control account they will pass. They will not give credit to vendor, right? Again, this is all depends upon how the scheme of entries that particular organization is following. Okay. So once GR account debit to control account or stock account debit to GR account they have passed, that particular entry will automatically comes into the financials. Okay. If the stores module and accounts module is integrated, you have to listen carefully. Suppose if the stores module and accounts module is integrated, whatever the stores person receives the material in the stores, he will raise GR, goods received note, GRN, goods received note he will raise. Then because it is integrated, what will happen is the stores account, I mean stock account debit, whatever may be the material name they use, stock account debit to GR account. It is a control account, routing account also they call. Okay. So this routing account at the end of the year, it should be 0. Okay. All these control accounts should be 0. They are used temporarily for the purpose of recording the transaction. Once the entire cycle is over, that particular control account or routing account will become 0. So what will happen is stores person will raise the GRN. Then if the stores and accounts is integrated, once he raise the GRN, in real-time process, what will happen? This stores account, stock account debit to GR account entry will come to and hit the accounts in the financials. Fine. So this entry without your intervention has come to the books of accounts. When you take out the trial balance, then you will see some GR account as a liability, correct? Because you have taken stock account of some material debit to GRIR account. Okay, so you will get surprised where from this amount is flowing to my accounts in trial balance. Okay, so it is very important to understand the process of the organization or entity before we get into the audit of accounts or we get into the accounting in that particular organization. And what is the expectation of the management, especially if you are in accounts, you should know what is the expectation of the management, if whether they want to integrate all the modules, I mean whether it may be HR module, procurement module, stores module, like this, and whether it is integrated or not, also you should understand so that you can accordingly pass the entries. Now coming to the same example, now this GR account credit has been lying in your books. So what you have to do, you should collect the bill of that particular goods and you should make the purchase entry for that particular goods received in stores. So when you make the purchase entry, then what will happen? This GR account will get debited because stores stock account is already debited when GRN is raised, because its closing stock has to match with the stores physical stores material. Okay, so whenever he is receiving the material, immediately he has taken the debit of that particular material. Okay, and credited to a notional account called GRN account. Okay, now when you are recording the bill and the bill has come certified, so you will say GRN account debit to vendor account. So finally, what is the entry which has come is stock account debit to vendor account. This is how the entry flows. So whenever this particular closing stock value is taken, you should ensure that in the trial balance, suppose some auditor, some management has given, okay, my closing stock is 31st March 2023 is 10 crore and this is the list of stock. Then suddenly you see some invoice which has not, taken GRN. Okay. Then this closing stock report, whatever it is given by the stores person or the respective department is not right. It is prima facie, it is seen that this particular bill has not been considered. That means the GRN itself is not been taken in the books because there is no trial of that particular bill when it has come, when the material has come to the stores. Okay. So these aspects you have to check either from auditor perspective or from, see, I am because this is first session, I am repeatedly saying auditor perspective and also accountant. Always when whichever topic I am discussing, please think from both perspective, because we may be acting as an auditor sometimes and sometimes we may be acting as an accountant. Okay. Now, this is one aspect where bill has come, but stores entry is not there. Another thing, stores entry is there, but bill is not certified. Okay. So suppose the stores person has done his job, there will be another department where there is a billing department. See, I am not teaching little basics for you because you are little more experienced. Wherever you feel, don't think that if you ask some basic questions, it may not be right and all. You can ask any basic questions. And once HR forms a group, you can message me. If it is required to be taken in class, I will take it or I will reply you directly in WhatsApp. Okay, don't worry about it. Please keep asking your questions. Don't think, see, only when you ask questions, you can learn. Okay. So coming to the same example, suppose now the store person has taken the GRN and the billing department here has not certified the procurement, then your closing creditors does not match, right? See, what is the entry I have told you, when GRN is taken and entry, see, actually store person will not pass any entry. See, now the entire software is in such a way that nobody know what is debit or credit. It is user friendly GUI. All softwares are GUI. Okay, user interface. So they are asked to put data entry. You put here the bill number. You put here bill date. You put here quantity. You put here purchase order number. Just press submit. That's all. That fellow doesn't know, whoever doing that entry doesn't know that what entry is getting passed in the books. Okay. It is our responsibility to know the flow of entries in the system. Then only I will have control in my trial balance. Otherwise, I will prepare some financials. If my boss asks, which this number has come from where, then I say, no, sir, I didn't do any entry. See, this one is done by stores person. How I will know? You can't say that. Okay. Any number in accounts is the responsibility of the accountant. Okay. You can't say this entry I have not done, that is HR has done the entry, and this is store person has done, that is billing person has done. No. If you have to have control on each and every number in the trial balance, then you will prosper in your career. Okay. If you don't understand any number, you question them 10 times, but you should know the answer that, okay, this is how it is coming. Then once you know that, then you will be able to visualize, analyze whether that particular entry is coming as per accounting principles, accounting standards or not. Okay. Otherwise, you will be totally in you will not know anything in the because of the softwares. Okay, so those people they are just using the software as a data entry. Okay, so now the store person has done the data entry, and that entry has hit your accounts. And in your accounts, there is a credit of GRIR, but billing person kept that bill without certifying as on 31st March, and your closing creditors does not match because you have not recorded the reverse the GRN and credited the amount to the creditor, I mean vendor. Okay, so this is the reason why I said this all this routing accounts or control accounts has to become zero. Okay, so while making the entry for closing stock, see, I'll just tell you, closing stock entry will be closing stock asset account debit to closing stock is a, again you have to take a closing stock which is going to P&L. Okay, this is the entry, whether you pass it, whether you take it as adjustment entry, where you are taking the entry, one to the credit of P&L, okay, which is revenue in nature, one to the current assets, which is in balance sheet, right? How these ledgers are getting affected? Only by passing the entry. So closing stock asset account debit to closing stock direct income, I mean credit to the P&L. Okay, that is trading account or manufacturing account, whatever it is. So this is with respect to closing stock. You have to ensure that whatever value you are taking in the closing entry is correct in all respects, and there are no pending things either from stores department or billing department, so that it is complete in all respects and your GR account is zero. This I told you in real time. There may be certain clients or certain organizations where they do not use the system in real time. They say, no, Baba, my system is not that perfect, so I don't want to disturb my accounts, and I wanted to keep both the modules independent. That means whatever the stores person take the GRN doesn't flow to accounts. Okay, it will be there in his module only. Month end, okay, see, this is another process which usually happens. I am just telling you, or you would have seen also. That particular module will not get updated on real-time basis, the accounts module. Okay, so this stores module will keep getting updated one fine day, month end, because I have to give monthly financials. So I will call upon the stores person, please submit please close the stores. Close the stores means he will close in the system. Okay, once he close the stores, he will not be able to take any GRN, IRN entries in the books, and he will be able to do it from the next month only. So today we are in October. So tomorrow, of 1st November, I will call upon the stores person. Please close October month stores so that I can prepare my financials. I can check the liability of the purchases. So now we have got 194Q TDS also. So if I have to check that also, okay. So I should ensure that the stores person is closing the books as on month end, so that there are no further entries in the system. Once he does the month end process in his module, then the summary will flow into the accounts module, whatever entries we have discussed for GR. Okay, same way, there may be chances that he has issued material for consumption, for manufacturing, or for whatever the processes that particular organization is doing, but he has not done the entry in the system. Then again, your financials will not give you proper numbers, right? So that is the reason you should see that the stores person is updating his records timely basis, and that particular all that aspects have been considered before taking into this audit or verification of stock and all. Now coming to valuation, it may be either FIFO, LIFO, weighted average, cost basis, whatever the particular organization is following. Okay, if suppose they are following weighted average, then the system, whatever the process that it has been set, see that checking of the system, again it is different topic by itself. So right now I am not discussing that. So suppose the management has decided that what the valuation should be weighted average cost, then there is a like internal financial controls and all have to be checked. So that is different topic itself. So I'm not getting into it. So if they are going as per FIFO, if they are going as per weighted average, or if they are going as per cost basis also, so whether it is coming correctly or not, it is our responsibility to check whatever the policy they are following as per policy document, whether the calculations are as per the policy document. Okay, so in case if this stores person has not issued the material, okay, and he has shown the goods in stock, see depending upon the volume of the stock, auditors also cannot check 100%. Okay, they check on a random basis. But what is affecting is that your cost of goods sold will get affected if the stores person does not complete the entries properly. He has issued the material, but he has not recorded. Once he has not recorded, that particular entry doesn't flow into your accounts. So once it is not flowing, see, when material is issued, what will happen? Consumption account debit to stock account. This is the entry which comes. So the consumption entry is not come, so your cost is going less and your closing stock is going more, which is not reality. Okay, so it is very important to see all these aspects before we are taking the entry in closing stock. Okay, see, either you are making the entry, you are responsible. Okay, you cannot just make entry, somebody has given you the value, just to do the entry. How can you do that? Okay, you have to verify whether it has come, it has been verified properly or not. You have to check it, and then only you have to ensure from your side that whatever entry you are making is correct. Okay, otherwise just making debit and credit is no value addition to the organization, either wherever you are. Okay, so it is your responsibility to see that the values are correct and you are making proper entry in the books of accounts. Okay, so I think today we will stop here. We will take up, see, I have given the time in the schedule, but it is very short time I have given. I will see if little more or less where depending upon your understanding, we will change the timings accordingly. If you have any questions, let me know, or if you want to have any suggestions, also let me know.
Any questions, guys? Anyone? Sir, as you told, any questions, we will just collate everything and share it across with you so that you can take them up.
Yeah. And also, if it is okay for you, you can form a group so that they can be interactive. I don't mind if they have any practical difficulties in their present, assignments, they can ask me also.
Sure, sir. Sure, definitely. We will talk to the HR and get it done.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Then we'll meet on Wednesday, 5:30.
Sir, Wednesday would be off. So can we just reschedule it to Thursday and Friday?
No problem. We can do that.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.